know he's in the building, so we're not going to labor any longer. We're going to ask our Apollo to come and have some words for us on this Marcus Garvey Day.
And I don't know exactly what it is. Habla en Aba.
In the diaspora, but he had a keen interest in the books that belonged to his father, that his father willed to him. He left school at the age of 14, and in 1906 he moved to Kingston, which is in southern Jamaica. That may sound a little bit more familiar to many of us in St. Anne's Bay, but he moved to Kingston when he was after 14 when he quit school. There he worked at a printing press. After 2 years on the job, he began his lifelong fight for justice by organizing a worker strike for higher wages. Between 1910 and 1914, Garvey traveled all around Central America, South America, and then he went to England. Anybody here from England? Only Mr. Jalika from England? Samba, okay, I know we got some folks in here from England now. So he went on to England. There he studied law, and he studied some other things, philosophy. And on his travels, one of the things that he discovered was that Jamaica wasn't unique. African people all over the globe, everywhere he went, they were downtrodden and they were oppressed. Everywhere he went. During his time in London, Garvey became close with the Sudanese Egyptian activist and scholar, Muhammad Ali. No stranger to the printing press, Garvey began to work with Ali in 1912 on his already established publication, The African Times and Orient Review. They covered issues in the Caribbean, the West Africa, South Africa, the United States, as well as Ali's native Egypt. In October 1913, Garvey contributed his first article to the African Times and Orient Review, advocating for pan-African nationalism. The publication became a forum for African intellectuals and activists around the world. Garvey credited much of his early development of pan-African philosophies to the mentorship of Muhammad Ali. At the British Library, Garvey discovered the autobiography of Booker T. Washington. Anybody know what that autobiography is titled? Anybody know what Booker T. Washington's autobiography is titled? Up from slavery. Okay. Washington's ideals that African Americans needed to develop themselves and demonstrate to white folks that they ought to have equal rights in America, it appealed to Garvey. Garvey is quoted to have said, and it's up there on the wall, if you turn around and see it, it's on the wall. Garvey is quoted to have said, I read Up from Slavery, and then my dream, if I may so call it, of being a race leader dawned. Armed with the experiences of his travels and the ideals of Booker T. Washington, Garvey returned to Jamaica in 1914 and immediately founded the Universal Negro Improvement and Conservation Association and the African Communities League, known as the UNIA. The forerunning goal of the UNIA was to build a black governed nation in Africa. Okay, but why was that significant in 1914? A black, self-governed nation in Africa. Anybody know? Why was that important? Why was that a big deal in 1914? This is my youngest boy. Move out the way. Can anybody tell me why that was significant in 1914? A black, governed, self-governed nation in Africa? Why do you think that was significant? Say it again, the U.S. for sure. And if the U.S. was governed by white folks in America, what was going on in Africa at the time in 1914?
There was only one sovereign nation in Africa in 1914, and that was Ethiopia.
Right, so in 1914, Garvey was espousing a free and independent nation, free from European rule, free from Portuguese rule, free from French rule, right? So it would be another 40 plus years before Ghana would become the first African nation to gain its independence from colonial rule. So sadly in Africa, self-reliant and self-governed had long been forgotten. In 1914, Garvey was espousing a black, free state on the continent of Africa. Britain, Portugal, France, they all had their colonial foot on the neck of the whole of Africa. In 1916, Garvey traveled to the United States of America. Yes, I said the United States of America. He went there and he started chapters of the UNIA in Harlem, New York. And the UNIA spread like wildfire. And before Garvey knew it, Black Moses, as he was affectionately and appropriately called, had established over 700 chapters in the United States and Canada by 1921, and over 1,000 chapters worldwide. Black Moses boasted a following of over 2 million members. Again, I gotta ask y'all, why was that important? In 1921, why was that significant that he was able to establish over 1,000 chapters of the UNIA worldwide? Come on, somebody guess. Why was that significant? Why was that worthy of mentioning? Say that again. True? True? She said slavery hadn't been abolished yet. Well, the continent was still under colonial rule. Why was that significant that in 1921 he was able to establish over 1,000 chapters and got 2 million black folks together on unity, on one accord? Anybody?
No political parties. There were no black-run political parties in the United States.
There were no black-run political parties. We still don't have one today. We black and slacking, dog. That ain't even in the speech, but we black and slacking. In 1921, there was no social media. There was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there was no WhatsApp, there was no Twitter, there was no Snapchat. None of that existed in 1921. I even consulted the internet because I wanted to be sure of the history of the telephone, okay?
And the mail.
The telephone in 1920 was present in about 1/3 of American homes. Only 1/3 of American homes had a telephone. Still quite rare, although the telephone was invented in the late 1870s. Being that black people were on the bottom of the economic ladder, I think we can safely assume that probably about 90% of the remaining 2/3 who did not have telephones at home were actually black people. Because the telephone was a luxury item, right? Now everybody has a phone, children have phones, but the telephone was a luxury item in 1921. You need to look. This is probably my old church days when you sing your mama's singing in the choir, and you still be in the choir saying, you gotta tell your children like that. Okay, so without phones or social media, Garvey was able to galvanize and unify 2 million black people towards self-sufficiency and upward mobility. Okay? That's significant. That is significant. It is hard for us today to get 2 million people rallying behind us, and we do have social media free. Everybody has it at their fingertips. But he was able to accomplish that at a time when none of those things existed. Right? So in the words of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, let's say it together. Forward forever.
Forward forever.
Backward never.
Backward never.
Forward forever.
Forward forever.
Backward never.
Backward never.
Garvey, an impressive and electrifying public speaker, gave speeches across America, urging Americans of African descent to be proud members of their race, and he encouraged them to return to Africa, to their ancestral homeland, and use their talents and By that time, we had already spent about 400 years making America great. It was time that we make a great nation here. This idea became known as the Back to Africa movement and attracted thousands of supporters in the diaspora, as well as inspired African nationalists who took up Garveyism's cry in Africa. You need to get your right order. Get your right order. They learned it, memorized it, perfected it. I want to say in about 3 days, really. But really, we only had 1 week to put this together. So I want you all to give it up for these young people as they give us hell. United States of Africa free.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to recite a poem entitled, Hail United States of Africa Free. Hail United States of Africa Free. Hail Motherland most bright, friendly, fair. In perfect sisterhood united, born of two countries shall ever be.
Hail, sweet land of our father nobility. Let them join within melody. Stand of wandering, go and help us. Let the world such as freedom shine with us.
From Liberia's peaceful western coast, the reforming came and started. There is only one love and sentiment solid. One flag and emblem of peace boss. Nigerians are all united now. Sierra Leone and the Gold Coast. Gambia, Senegal not divided, but in one million Africa.
The present of the centuries is here. All aligned well forevermore. The home of Siva is once more free. All over the world. The black and tan race is here.
Bejuanaland, a state with Kenya, members of the Federal Union send their greetings to their sisters and sponsors starting from
Over in grandmother Mozambique, the PD Union flag floats in there. She is sister to Somaliland, smiling with the children of the home.
3 big cheers for all Basotola, Timbu, Tonis, and Algeria. Uganda, Cameroon, all together are in union with Nyasaland. We were along for very mode. Now with Guinea and Togo Siasco, all free and equal in the system, like Swazi, Sudan, and the Congo.
There is no stay left out of the union. The East, West, North, South,
Kanin put an engine and doing program draft. I care about all of the library news and all that.
Hey, United States of Africa free, country of the brave and mass liberty, state of nation who do has won. A new life for the race is just begun.
Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up!
My name is Ismail. I'm here to read a book entitled Teach Me About Garvey by Virginia. Teach me about Garvey, Mr. Teacher. Would you please? The great African visionary was amazing sight to see. Before Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, the romantic legend of African people all over the world not know what Garvey's name. He hailed from Jamaica, then touched across the sea, early to sentiments, treatment of African people just like me. African people were born badly, as far as the eyes could see. Garvey come with a plan that could change our destiny. Marcus Garvey come to America and start the UNIA, that is the Universal Negro Improvement Association. Okay, Marcus Garvey was encouraged and bold. He planted pride inside the heart that of African people like seed. He was a great organizer and made things happen. He had a black stick, like with a black coat and a black captain. He started the newspaper that was called the Negro World. He even built the doll factory for little black girls. He owns buildings, trucks, and cities. white. No, he will inspire many Africans, some Cubans, some African Americans, Puerto Kosovo, Jamaica, some Dominicans, Brazil, and everywhere. We preach Africans. Do you know what it means? It means I belong to Africa and Africa belongs to me. Oh, teach me about your teacher. Would you please? The African kids know Garvey, so we know our culture. Let's learn about Garvey now. Africa, African all over the earth can make Africa a better place because it's our right by the law. Thank you, Marcus Garvey, for all you did. We shall pick when you left off love African kids.
Give it up. That is amazing, right? So we have our summer reading program going on right now, and every day we got about 30 to 40 children in here all day long reading books, 20, 30 books a piece, right? And amongst themselves, they chose those 5 children to do the reading. He came to my house. He said, what do y'all think? I want to do something on the program. I said, okay, well, I'll find you something to do. He said, no, I'm going to read Teach Me God. I already know what I'm doing. I said, okay, well, go ahead. Thank you. I don't know if Mr. Ray has arrived. I don't see him. Is he out there? I don't think he is. No? Okay. So we're going to keep it pushing. All right. Are you all right here? This is my first time meeting them, but they are the owners of Garvey Lodge. They are the owners of Garvey Lodge. So, what I would like for Cynthia, can you give me the papers? Tell me where they are.